Hello, Karu. I just got to watch your video that you filmed only moments ago. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Pendleton, Oregon on the last day of November in 2017. And I actually had this footage all edited together from Thanksgiving. And I'd been thinking about making a video and actually doing some voiceover, but I'd been uninspired. But your video just inspired me to actually think of some things to talk about over this. So I'll be doing that. First of all, talk about your video. I really like that camera angle with the camera sitting in the closet looking out. I thought that was really cool. I was digging it. Oh, by the way, this footage here was taken by Emily. I loaned her my camera for a little bit, or maybe not this one, but anyway, some of this footage was. Beth going to Brussels sounds like fun. I'm jealous. I know that I travel a lot, but it's sounds like it should be a good trip. I hope she has a good time, and I hope that you enjoy being in charge while she's gone. You spent a lot of time talking about your cooking. And I got to say, I really appreciate that. And please feel free to make cooking videos anytime you want. But I had a couple questions. First of all, isn't it a little racist to prefer white pepper? And for taste, are you saying that black pepper has poor taste? I don't know. In this political climate, I'm not sure that's something you should be saying. Yeah. In addition, I like soup. And I will eat squash and soup. And actually, a curry soup with squash is good. But, squash just isn't my thing. I don't know what it is. I just am not a big fan of squash. That said, I hope you guys have a great meal. It looks like you're going to have fun. You mentioned that you guys are heading down to see your folks for Christmas. So you'll spend Christmas with the family. I hope that's a good time. Oh, this is a time lapse of our entire Thanksgiving meal, so there'll be a lot of this. I hope you enjoy watching people come and go. So yeah, I hope you have a good time. Tell your folks hi for me. We are still talking about seriously driving to Florida this spring, so we may actually try to work that around your performance. So maybe what we would do is go down to Florida in March, kind of end of March, and then circle back up to Minnesota in April to see your performance. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but we're thinking about it. You talked about your friend Ethan and how he's got lung cancer, and I'm sorry to hear about that. It's interesting because my friend Frank Bosco, who I've talked to you a lot about, who was a office mate of mine in grad school, is doing epidemiological work for the state of New York. And he talked about how the probability of you getting cancer had to do with the number of times that your cells divide. And what he said is, if in parts of your body you have lots of cell division, the more cell division you have, the higher probability you have of this genetic mutation that creates cancer. And so he said, places in your body where the cells divide more are the most likely where you're most likely to get cancer. And lung cancer, actually when you get lung cancer from environmental risks, it's because you're damaging those cells, which increases the rate at which those cells divide. And I imagine that could happen. That could also be a genetic thing. It sounds like it may be with Ethan. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that he's okay. It is interesting because I had to drive to Walla Walla to take Karu and Beth back to the airport up there so they could fly back to Seattle. And on the way home, I listened to a thing on NPR about preparing for death and how doctors are much less likely to want intervention when they are older and sick than other people, and it's because we don't understand the implications of the interventionist medical approaches. And it made me think that Sarah and I should actually put together a living will and try to, but it's a difficult question, because it's one thing, the survey, I think the study that they were talking about in this radio report was where, you assume that they asked people if you have like mental issues, if you can't functionally communicate with other people and control your body, do you want CPR? Do you want a ventilator? Do you want to be intubated and kept alive that way? Which of these interventions do you want? Do you just want pain med? And interestingly, most people said they want all the intervention stuff to keep them alive, but if you ask them how they want to die, they say they want to die quietly in their sleep. And of course, those two things don't really go together. But obviously, they're imagining them being healthy and happy and wonderful, go to sleep one night and die, not getting sick and slowly dying, which is the way most people die. So even doing a living will now, at around the age of 50, how much intervention do I want? And Sarah and I were talking, and ideally, I would probably opt for greater intervention until Taryn has graduated from college. I'd like to survive to see that. But after that, to some degree, maybe less intervention and a quicker death would be a blessing. It's easy to say, I guess, from this position, but something to think about. So anyway, I hope that the poker night goes well. I hope that Ethan's treatment goes well, and it's not too, best case scenario, this helps him, to appreciate everything he has more acutely. Not saying he didn't appreciate it before this, but and he has a brief interlude dealing with this and is okay. I hope his brother's okay too. I know, it's a tough thing. So the last thing I want to talk about is I've actually been pretty busy doing a lot of work for Innovate. I'm working on their 2018 forecast, and that'll be for the next couple weeks. That'll keep me busy. In addition, Gareth's graduation from University of Idaho is a week from Saturday, so we'll be going up to Pullman for that, assuming he finishes all his work, which I don't, I like to joke about that, but it's obviously a joke. He's very good about that. And then so that's Saturday, and then the Sunday after that, the Pendleton's Men's Chorus has their concert. Actually, it's a Christmas concert with the Eastern Oregon Symphony Orchestra is going to be playing, and Eastern Oregon Chorale, which is being directed by a guy who sits next to me in men's chorus named Steve Muller, who's awesome. And actually, I really would have liked to have sang with them, but I just couldn't make it to enough rehearsals on Monday nights. And Steve told me I could come anyway, even with only a month to go, only like 4 rehearsals to go. But I just felt like it wasn't appropriate. The men's chorus is going to be, we're doing 4 songs, maybe 5, and 3 or 4 of them are Christmas carols, and then the last one is this great song called Wana Baraka, which you should look up if you can on YouTube. It's a African song, and I'm actually singing. I'm opening the song with a solo. I'm just singing Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. And then Steve, the guy who's directing the choral group, is also he's going to sing the second half of the solo, and then we'd go into it's a pretty complicated song, but it's really cool. It's kind of a traditional. It has what we would consider a traditional African feel with the chant, kind of, and the deep voices, and it's all a cappella. It's pretty cool. So yeah, look it up if you can. Wana Baraka is what it's called, and there's a number of choruses doing it online that you can find it easily. So that's pretty much what I've got. It's getting to that point in the year where it's gray and dark, and the temperatures, are kind of in the middle area. So it's the time of year when I start looking for traveling again after not being away for long. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'll talk to you later.